I never thought my quiet life, built on decades of routine and trust, could unravel in a single, reckless moment. At 59, I'm Marlene, a woman who's tended gardens and mended hearts in this sleepy Ohio town, my days as predictable as the sunrise. But beneath the surface of my comfortable marriage, a storm was brewing, one I didn't see coming until a younger man's gaze lit a spark I thought had long burned out. Now, I'm caught in a web of guilt and forbidden desire, my heart racing with a secret that could shatter everything I hold dear. What did I do in the shadows of that autumn night, and will the truth ever come to light? Picture this. I'm standing at my kitchen sink, the cold metal edge pressing into my palms as I scrub a stubborn pot, the faint hum of crickets sneaking through the cracked window. My name's Marlene, and at 59, I've carved out a life that's as steady as the ticking of the old clock on the wall. I've spent most of my years in this small suburban town just outside Columbus, Ohio, where the streets are quiet and the biggest excitement is the annual church bazaar. My reflection in the window catches me off guard sometimes, graying hair pulled back into a loose bun, a few extra pounds settling around my middle, and hands roughened by decades of digging in the dirt for my garden and keeping this house in order. They tell a story of hard work, of a life well lived, if not always thrilling. I've been married to Tom for 32 years now. He's 62, a kind soul with a salt and pepper beard that's more salt than pepper these days. He's a mechanic by trade, always hunched over some engine or another, and when he's not at the shop, he's out in our cluttered garage behind the house, tinkering with old cars like they're puzzles he can't quite solve. Our marriage, well, it's comfortable, like a worn-in pair of shoes. We've got our routines, dinner at 6, a bit of TV, then off to bed. But the fire that used to burn between us? It's more of a flicker now, if I'm honest. We're more like roommates sharing a space than the passionate pair we once were, though I'd never say that out loud. Then there's Jake, a younger guy who's been helping Tom out in the garage lately. He's in his early 30s, with a rugged kind of charm that's hard to ignore, even for someone like me who's long past noticing such things. I shake off the thought as I finish up the last of the dishes, wiping my hands on a faded dish towel that's seen better days. Through the kitchen window, I catch sight of the garage, the door wide open, spilling warm light into the cool evening air. There's Tom, hunched over the engine of that old Chevy he's been wrestling with for weeks, his brow furrowed in concentration. Jake's right beside him, passing over tools with an easy rhythm, the two of them tossing words back and forth like they've known each other forever. I figure they've been out there for hours, and the autumn chill must be creeping in. So I decide to brew a pot of coffee to warm them up. The rich, earthy scent fills the kitchen as I pour it into 2 steaming mugs, the ceramic warm against my palms. I step outside, the gravel crunching under my worn sneakers as I make my way to the garage. The air out here is sharp, tinged with the unmistakable smell of motor oil and metal. I hear the clink of a wrench against the engine block, a steady, almost musical sound, and as I get closer, I notice Jake's flannel shirt, sleeves rolled up to his elbows, showing off tanned forearms that speak of long days working under the sun. It's a fleeting observation, nothing more, but it sticks with me. I clear my throat as I approach, holding out the mugs. Tom barely looks up, just grunts a quick, "I'm sitting on the couch now," the soft cushions sinking under me, an empty wine glass resting on the coffee table, its faint red stain catching the dim light of the living room lamp. The house is quiet, save for the occasional creak of the old floorboards settling in the autumn night. Tom's already gone to bed, exhausted from another long day wrestling with that stubborn Chevy in the garage. I should have followed him upstairs, but something kept me here, lost in thought, the faint buzz of the wine lingering in my veins. Then I hear the back door open, and heavy footsteps shuffle through the kitchen. Jake steps into the living room, and I can't help but take him in. His flannel shirt is unbuttoned at the top, revealing just a hint of the hard lines of his chest beneath. His hair is slightly mussed, like he's run his hands through it one too many times, and there's a faint sheen of sweat on his forehead, no doubt from hours of laboring over engine parts in the garage. He's holding a beer bottle, the amber glass catching the light as he takes a slow sip. and I notice a slight sway in his step, a glassy look in his eyes that tells me he's had more than just the one. "You okay to drive home, Jake?" I ask, my voice laced with concern, though I try to keep it light. He chuckles, a low, rough sound, and waves me off. "Nah, I'll crash on the couch if I gotta. No big deal." Before I can respond, he plops down next to me, closer than I expect, his thigh brushing against mine. The air shifts, and I catch the sharp scent of beer mixed with the gritty tang of engine grease clinging to him. It's oddly intoxicating, and I hate myself for even noticing. We start with small talk, safe stuff, how the car's coming along, how Tom's too stubborn to let anyone else take over the tough fixes. But the conversation takes a sharp turn when Jake's voice softens, his eyes locking onto mine. "You know, Marlene, you've still got it. Tom's a lucky guy." My laugh cuts off awkwardly, hanging in the air like a half-finished thought. A heavy silence settles between us, thicker than the autumn fog outside. I feel Jake's hand rest on my waist, his fingers pressing into my side with a deliberate firmness that sends a jolt through me. His eyes are locked on mine, intense and searching, like he's trying to unravel every secret I've buried deep. The heat radiating from him is almost tangible, a stark contrast to the coolness of the room, and I'm caught in the pull of it, unable to look away. The living room feels like a stage set for something I can't name. The dim glow of the lamp casts long, wavering shadows on the walls, making the familiar space feel foreign, charged with something dangerous. From upstairs, the faint sound of Tom's snoring drifts down, a reminder of the life I've built, the trust that's carried us through decades. And then there's the old clock on the mantel ticking away, each second stretching into what feels like forever, as if time itself is holding its breath, waiting for me to decide. My mind is a storm of contradictions. I think of Tom, asleep and oblivious, the years we've spent side by side, raising a family, weathering storms, building a home brick by brick. But then there's this other thought, sharp and unbidden. How long it's been since I've felt truly seen, since someone looked at me with the kind of hunger I see in Jake's gaze right now. My palms are slick with sweat, my heart hammering so hard I'm sure he can hear it. There's a warmth spreading through me, starting low in my belly, a sensation I haven't known in years, awakening parts of me I thought had long gone dormant. Jake's voice breaks the silence, low and rough, like gravel underfoot. "I've always noticed you, Marlene. Always wanted this. For a long time." His words hang there, heavy with meaning, and I'm torn in two. Part of me wants to push him away, to slap that look off his face and reclaim my senses. And part of me is teetering on the edge of surrender. I'm standing in the kitchen now, the fluorescent light flickering above us, casting jagged shadows across the linoleum floor. Jake's hand is still on mine, his grip firm, grounding me in a moment I know I should escape. His face is so close, mere inches away, and I can see the raw hunger in his eyes, a mirror to a longing I didn't even realize I still carried deep inside. My breath catches and I whisper, "This is wrong," but the words lack any real strength. They're hollow, a feeble protest against the storm brewing within me. Jake doesn't pull back. Instead, he steps even closer, his presence overwhelming, and I don't stop him. I can't. Or maybe I won't. My heart is a wild drum in my chest as we stand there, the air between us thick with unspoken tension. I feel the heat of him, the way my own body betrays me, responding in ways I haven't felt in years. It's like a dormant fire has been reignited, and I'm powerless against the flames. We move toward the couch in the living room, each step heavy with intent, the silence around us amplifying every sound, the creak of the floorboards beneath our feet, the faint rustle of fabric as we settle down. Every noise feels like a shout, a condemnation, as if the house itself is bearing witness to my betrayal. And all the while, I'm painfully aware of Tom sleeping upstairs, oblivious to the fracture happening below. As we sit, so close that our breaths mingle, the weight of what's happening presses down on me. My mind screams to stop, to pull away, to remember the life I've built, the vows I've kept for over 3 decades. But my body, it's like it's acting on its own. drawn to Jake in a way that's both exhilarating and sickening. The moment unfolds with a quiet intensity, a dance of shadows and stolen touches, a connection that's as much about desperation as it is about desire. It's not about the act itself, but the storm of emotions it unleashes, guilt crashing over me like a tidal wave, even as a rush of something forbidden. As the moment with Jake fades into a heavy, suffocating stillness, I'm left reeling in the aftermath. He pulls on his jacket, the rustle of fabric cutting through the silence, and mumbles something about heading home, his voice low and uneven. He doesn't meet my eyes, and I don't try to make him. The door clicks shut behind him, and suddenly, I'm alone in the living room, the house so quiet, it feels like it's holding its breath. The only sound is the distant, rhythmic drone of Tom's snoring upstairs, a stark reminder of the life I've just risked. I sit there, frozen on the couch, my hands trembling as I try to smooth out the wrinkles in my clothes, as if that could erase what just happened. There's a bitter taste in my mouth, sharp and metallic, like guilt itself has taken root on my tongue. And worse, I can still feel the ghost of Jake's touch lingering on my skin, a sensation that both thrills and sickens me. I force myself to move, creeping up the stairs with deliberate slowness, each step a test of stealth so as not to wake Tom. My heart pounds as I slip into bed beside him, the mattress dipping slightly under my weight. He doesn't stir, his breathing steady and trusting, and I lie there, staring at the ceiling, unable to close my eyes. Tears come unbidden, silent streams rolling down my cheeks, soaking into the pillow. I've crossed a line I can't uncross, and the weight of it presses down on me like a physical force, making it hard to breathe. The days that follow are a blur of avoidance and dread. My phone buzzes with Jake's calls, but I let them go to voicemail, unable to face even the sound of his voice. Every time Tom mentions his name in passing, something about a part for the Chevy or a day they've planned in the garage, I flinch, my stomach twisting into knots. I'm terrified that somehow, some way, Tom will see it on my face, in the way I can't quite meet his eyes anymore. What if he senses the shift, the fracture I've caused? I throw don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.